This is Chris Bales. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bales. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Monday Night Raw, March 28th, 2022 reviews. So here we go, discussing about tonight's Monday Night Raw. Now this is WrestleMania Raw. We're 6 days away from WrestleMania. WrestleMania starts this Saturday, and it's a two-night event, of course. Saturday and Sunday, and NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver will be this Saturday, which I'll be doing a review on all that. SmackDown Ramp and AEW Rampage comes on Friday, and the Hall of Fame, so I'll do a review on all three of those. And Wednesday, AEW Dynamite, I'll be doing a review on that. And of course, Monday Night Raw right now, I'm doing a review on this. So yeah, it's going to be a long week on the channel. But look out for every single thing that I'll be talking about for this week. It's going to be a packed week, with the wrestling as a whole. So yeah, it's going to be a great week though. But yeah, this is WrestleMania Raw, and they do get some matches on here. Later on tonight on Raw, we'll see the Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro, taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, later on tonight, and much more. So yeah, here we go, discussing about the first segment of the night. It was the WWE Champion, Brock Lesnar. He came out to the ring. And pretty much he starts talking, telling everybody welcome to Monday Night Raw, and he said it sucked, and he said he ain't gonna do that anymore. So yeah, that's what Lesnar said right there. And then he was talking about a carnival, how he's going to take Roman Reigns on some rides, hitting F5s on him and all that. That's what Brock Lesnar was talking about. He's going to beat and lay him out at Mania, and he said that his title is going to actually get married to the Universal title and have a baby called the Unified Championship. So yeah, that's what Lesnar said. He said he's going to take custody of that. And that's all he pretty much said. He's said that he's going to go beat Roman Reigns and take both titles. So yeah, that's what Lesnar said. He dipped out. But yeah, it was an okay segment to start off Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns will be on Raw later on tonight. So yeah, that'll be happening. And like I said, the tag team match between the Usos and RK Bro will happen later on tonight as well. There's an 8-women tag team match later on tonight. Sasha Banks and Naomi teaming up with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley versus Zelena, Vega, and Carmella teaming up with Natalya and Shayna Baszler later on tonight in an 8-women tag team match. And we'll see Bianca Belair returning tonight on Monday Night Raw as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on Raw tonight. And up next, we're going to actually see the first match of the night. It will be the Miz versus Rey Mysterio up next on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we had the first match of the night. It was The Miz versus Rey Mysterio 1-on-1. But before I talk about that match, we had The Miz come out to the ring. And Miz was talking about how Rey Mysterio, of course, every single WrestleMania that Rey always goes to, he gets a great looking attire that he gets made and all that. And he said there's no doubt that he's going to have a great attire made at WrestleMania. But he said Logan Paul does too. He introduces Lucha Logan. So Logan Paul comes out with Rey Mysterio's mask on his face. This was the mask that Miz stole from Rey last week on Raw. So yeah, Logan Paul was wearing the mask, and he said, "This is Lucha Logan right here." And you know what? I think I should be wearing a mask too, to celebrate Rey Mysterio and all that. But then of course Rey comes out and Dominic. And Dominic goes in and starts attacking Miz before the match and beating him down inside the ring. Rey Mysterio's chase after Logan, and Logan quickly escaping, going into the ring and escaping out of the ring and all that. And then the referee pretty much kicked Dominic out of ringside, so yeah, he got ejected from ringside. So Rey Mysterio had to go all alone in this match against The Miz while Logan Paul was at ringside. It was an okay match. At the ending of this match, we seen Miz trying to hit that powerbomb onto Rey, but Rey reversing it, rolling him up for the 3 count. So yeah, Rey Mysterio defeated the Miz tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. But then after the match ended, we seen Dominic coming down to help Rey because he was about to get attacked, and Rey and Dominic started beating down Miz and all that, and Logan Paul was trying to get in the ring, and he was about to get hit with a double 619 by Rey and Dominic. But then Logan quickly got out of the ring, and while he was by the ring, outside of the ring, Rey quickly pulled off the mask. So yeah, he got his mask back. And then Miz realized that he was the only one in the ring. He gets hit with a super kick by Dominic, and then Rey hits a Hurricane Rana onto him, get him onto the second rope. They both had double 619 onto Miz. Dominic climbs up the top turnbuckle, jumps off for a frog splash on the Miz, and then Rey climbs up there and hits a frog splash on the Miz as well, laying him out. So yeah, that was everything that happened. The match was okay, but I like what was going on at the end of the match and what happened beginning of the match. So yeah, with all that, I'll give it 2 stars as well. I'll give it pretty good stuff. But yeah, that's what happened. But next we're going to see some stuff about Seth Rollins with him getting a WrestleMania opponent and all that. That'll be happening up next on Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a pretty much a tape of what happened earlier today or whatever with Seth Rollins, and wondering if he's going to go to WrestleMania or not. So yeah, he goes to WWE headquarters, and he gets there early, around 6:50 whatever, and pretty much getting there early because Vince wants him there at 9. And, he goes talking to the lady at the desk, going well, is Vince ready for me? She said he's not yet. And he's sitting there until 9:05, so he's sitting there for 2 hours. And she goes okay, Mr. Rollins, Vince is ready for you. He goes okay, cool. He goes walking up in there. He goes hey, Vince, putting his feet on the table and everything. And pretty much, Vince is get your feet off my table. So yeah, Seth Rollins what are you going to do? You going to suspend me? Or are you going to fine me? Or are you going to fire me from WWE? And Vince was no, I'm going to actually send you to WrestleMania. All you had to do was ask. And Seth Rollins so all I had to do was ask you to go to WrestleMania. And Vince was yeah, that's all you had to do. We can't have a stupendous WrestleMania without Seth Rollins. And Rollins was yeah, of course, you can't have a stupendous WrestleMania without me. And Vince was well, we could, but we just gotta involve you in the show. So yeah, that's what Vince said. And Rollins was well, who's my opponent for WrestleMania? And Vince was well, you're going to have to find that out later on tonight because it'll be an opponent of my choosing. So yeah, Seth Rollins will be going to WrestleMania. But yeah, up next we're going to see Omos in the ring on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a match with Omos featured in it. Now, Omos was taking on Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders, in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Now, let's talk about it. First things first, we already knew that the Usos and Roman Reigns was going to come from Monday Night Raw to, coming from SmackDown to Raw. And, the Viking Raiders are SmackDown stars, so I guess almost all the SmackDown roster is probably on Raw. I don't know, but that's whatever. But then we get the Viking Raiders jobbing out pretty bad, really bad in this match. So, first thing, it was Omos, he was in the ring, and Eric was in the ring. Eric starts off the match. It was only a few seconds, and what happened was, Eric fighting off Omos, and Omos hits a big old clothesline to Eric. Eric rolls out the ring. Ivar's checking on him. Eric gets counted out. So yeah, Omos won that handicap match. And then Ivar gets on the ring apron, and then Omos kicks him upside the head, knocking him off the ring apron. That was the end of that. So yeah, the Viking Raiders really jobbed out for tonight on Raw. So yeah, it really sucks to see the Viking Raiders jobbing out just to Omos and, losing within seconds. So, yeah, it really sucks. But, yeah, after the match, Omos grabs the mic and goes nobody can beat me. I am undefeated. I want to go to WrestleMania and fight whoever. And then, all of a sudden, Bobby Lashley comes out. So yeah, Bobby Lashley makes his return back on Monday Night Raw. He comes out, gets face to face to Omos. Omos pushes him. Lashley going at it. Both of them shoulder blocking each other, and Omos knocking down Lashley. And Lashley had enough. He runs to the ropes, comes back with a jumping shoulder block onto Omos, and actually took him down and knocked him and Omos down. And Omos quickly rolled out the ring and says he don't want none. And Lashley points at the WrestleMania sign, and Omos does too. So yeah, at WrestleMania we will see Omos versus Bobby Lashley 1-on-1 at Mania. So yeah, that's what's going to go on there. But yeah, the match with Omos sucked, but it was great to see Bobby Lashley returning on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, for the match and all that, I ain't even going to give it a rating. It sucked. I'll just give it 0 stars, like it sucked. But yeah, it was great to see Bobby Lashley come back on Raw. So yeah. I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, before I talk about Roman Reigns, we gotta talk about Dana Brooke and them. So yeah, we seen Reggie go up to Dana Brooke, get on his knees, about to do a proposal, and then Tamina Snuka quickly comes up after Dana Brooke don't say yes. Tamina comes up and runs Dana Brooke into that thing from behind her, knocking her down, and pushes Reggie. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Reggie breaks up the pin, and then Reggie and Dana Brooke quickly runs off. And then we see Akira Tozawa in his suit, and Tamina's like, "What are you doing?" And Akira was like, "Well, I heard Reggie was doing a proposal to Dana, and I thought the same thing." And proposes to Tamina, and then Tamina say yeah, and they walk away happy. So yeah, stuff like that is happening, and then R-Truth is of course watching all this go down with the referees. So yeah, and then we get to Roman Reigns. So it was a WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns with the Wise Men Paul Heyman and the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions Jimmy and Jay the Usos. They all so yeah, Roman Reigns starts talking, talking about how he's the longest reigning Universal Champion, how he hasn't been pinned or submitted since 2019, and how pretty much he accomplished everything in the company. Like he's been WWE Champion, Universal Champion, Intercontinental U.S. Tag Team Champions, won the Royal Rumble, main event of WrestleMania 5 times. He's going to go main event again this Sunday and make it 6 times and all that. So yeah, that's what Roman Reigns is talking about. He was listing off the accomplishments that he had in the company and all that. And, the fans was chanting what, and talking about Brock Lesnar, chanting Suplex City and all that. And Roman looks at the fans and goes like, "Man, if y'all don't shut up, I want to smash y'all too." So yeah, that's what Roman was talking about. And then, he said, "You know what? We'll talk about Brock Lesnar. Me and Lesnar faced off multiple times at WrestleMania. And, in 2018 at WrestleMania 34, he busted me wide open. And you know what? My kids didn't recognize me, and my wife didn't want me to be wrestling in WWE again. But you know what? And pretty much I failed my whole family. My family look at me as a disappointment and everything. But then, he said it built anger in him. He got more angrier every time when he thought about it and everything. And he said, you know what? He came up at Madison Square Garden, beat up Brock Lesnar, busted him open, but he never beat him at WrestleMania. And he said this Sunday at Mania, he is going to beat Brock Lesnar. So yeah, that's what Roman Reigns said, and then he left out. So yeah, and he said that he took everything from Brock Lesnar. He took his advocate, upgraded him into a wise man, and he took his championship accomplishment pretty much by holding the Universal title as the longest reigning Universal Champion. He said he took that, and now he's the longest reigning champion. So yeah, that's everything that Roman Reigns said, and then he dipped out. So yeah, pretty good promo stuff from Roman Reigns. I liked it. And then backstage we seen Carmella and Zelena Vega talking about their match at WrestleMania, and then Natalia and Shayna Baszler comes up backstage and says, "Look, tonight we're going to be a tag team. We're going to go out there and win this women's tag team match. But at WrestleMania, we're going to take the women's tag team titles. So yeah, that's what Natalya and Shayna Baszler said. But yeah, up next we're going to see an 8-women tag team match. It will be Sasha Banks, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Carmella and Zelena Vega in a 8-women tag team match up next on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a 8-women's tag team match. It was Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Sasha Banks, and Naomi versus Shayna Baszler and Natalya and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Carmella and Zelena Vega in a 8-women's tag team match. It was an okay match. It was pretty good. At the ending of this match, we seen Natalya and Shayna Baszler hit their tag team finish move onto Sasha Banks, hitting a heart attack onto her. And then, they was going to go for the pin. Natalya was trying to go for the pin, but, Zelena Vega and was breaking up and everything, started brawling with them. The malfunctions with those two teams, they was going at it and everything. So, yeah, Natalya and all them, they was all going at it. Shayna Baszler got pulled out of the ring by Carmella, and then Carmella got knocked down by Shayna Baszler outside the ring. And pretty much costed them the match, because at the ending, we seen Sasha Banks tag in Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley comes in, hits the Riptide onto Zelena Vega, laying her out, and then pins her for the 3 count. So yeah, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Sasha Banks, and Naomi defeated Shayna Baszler and Natalya and the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Carmella and Zelena Vega in an 8-women's tag team match tonight on Monday Night Raw. That's what happened. It was a pretty good match. For that match, I'll give it 2.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good 8-women's tag team match. But yeah, still to come later on tonight, we will still see who will be Seth Rollins' WrestleMania opponent later on tonight on Monday Night Raw. Not only that, we will see the Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro, taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, later on tonight in a tag team match on Monday Night Raw as well. So yeah, still more stuff to come on Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we had a video package of Stone Cold Steve Austin throughout his whole entire WWE career. When he came up as a ringmaster, going, doing his iconic promo, Austin 316, with his feud with Vince and all that, going through his whole career up until WrestleMania 19, and him coming through a few times in WWE, like driving down the 4-wheeler back in 09 at WrestleMania 25, and when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame and all that. So yeah, it was going through his whole career pretty much with a nice video package. It was really good. And then we get Kevin Owens inside the ring, and Kevin Owens starts sending a message to Stone Cold Steve Austin, how he was telling the fans, don't worry, y'all ain't going to get Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're just going to get just Steve, because he ain't going to ever be in the ring again after 19 years and all that. He's a chicken and all that. So yeah, that's what Kevin Owens was saying. And Owens was like, how he was going to hit the stunner onto Stone Cold, laying him out, and dump beer on his lifeless body. So yeah, that's what Kevin Owens was saying. So he's going to go to WrestleMania, host a KO show with Stone Cold, and beat him up. So yeah, that's what Kevin Owens said. And he told the fans that the last closest thing that you had to Stone Cold was me impersonating him last week. So yeah, that's what Owens said. But yeah, pretty good promo stuff from Kevin Owens. But up next, we're going to see Ricochet versus Austin Theory in a one-on-one match up next on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing happens on Monday Night Raw. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a one-on-one match. It was Ricochet versus Austin Theory one-on-one. It was a non-title match, so yeah, the Intercontinental Championship was not defended. It was an okay match. It was short and everything. This match, I'll just give it 1 star. At the ending of this match, Ricochet started taking, going along in this match. He climbs up the top turnbuckle, about to hit his finish move, the 630, onto Austin Theory. But then Austin Theory hits the ropes, and Ricochet falls down, pretty much hitting his nuts on the top turnbuckle, and then he was still up there. Austin Theory comes up, picks him up onto his shoulders, and then hits A-Town down onto Ricochet, where he got him on his shoulders, spins him around face first onto the knee, and then pins him for the 1-2-3. So yeah, Austin Theory defeated the Intercontinental Champion Ricochet tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. And yeah, like I said, it was okay. I'll give it 1 star. But yeah, still to come later on tonight on Monday Night Raw. I think it'll be the main event. It will be the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, Randy Orton and Riddle, RK Bro, versus the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, later on tonight in a tag team match on Monday Night Raw. But up next, we're going to see Bianca Belair returning on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, that'll be happening up next. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we have Bianca Belair making her return back to Raw after 2 weeks. She comes out and talk about how she ain't supposed to be speaking, but screw it. She said how she's going to go to WrestleMania and beat Becky Lynch and win the Raw Women's Championship. She was talking about about how Becky Lynch beat her up 2 weeks ago, laid her out, but she only took her out for 1 week, and she said how she's going to beat her ass and everything. And then we seen Becky Lynch's theme song playing, and Bianca Belair's waiting for Becky to come on out, but she wisely turned around. Becky Lynch was trying to come up from behind her and try to attack her. And, Bianca started getting the upper hand, kind of, beating down Becky Lynch, and then Becky Lynch started beating down Bianca, and then grabbed some scissors out of this bag, trying to cut Bianca's hair, but then Bianca quickly getting up and lifting up Becky Lynch, hitting the KOD onto Becky Lynch, and then hits a second KOD again onto Becky Lynch, laying her out, and then she grabs the scissors and starts cutting Becky Lynch's hair, and then we see Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville and a bunch of referees trying to stop Bianca Belair from doing this, but she kept on cutting her hair anyways, and dipped out. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then Becky, she starts feeling her hair, noticing that some of it was getting cut off, and you can see the hair falling out and all that. And then Becky was like, "I'm going to end her career." So yeah, that's what Becky Lynch said. And yep, pretty good segment. I like the segment between Bianca and Becky. It was pretty good. So yeah, that's what happened there. But still to come later on tonight, we'll still find out who is Seth Rollins' WrestleMania opponent later on tonight on Monday Night Raw. But up next, it looks like Drew McIntyre is actually going to be in a handicap match on Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a 2-on-1 handicap match. It was Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss in a 2-on-1 handicap match. But before I talk about that match, we had the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch backstage, and the interviewer came up, asking Becky how does she feel about her hair getting cut, and then she scares off the interviewer after she was looking in the mirror and stuff, and then looks at the camera and she said, "Bianca, you bitch," and then leaves out. So yeah, that's all she said right there. But then we'll get to the handicap match. Happy Corbin, there was like a video, like a little video from earlier with Happy Corbin talking to Madcap Moss backstage, and Happy Corbin looks at Madcap. He said, "Don't worry about it. You can stay on the ring apron. I'll take on Drew tonight." And Madcap, making a joke saying, "What will happen if you got Claymore? You will be killed." And he said, "You get it?" And then Happy Corbin's like, "No," and then leaves. So yeah, the match starts off Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin inside the ring. They both start grappling up. But then, of course, Happy Corbin quickly tags in Madcap Moss. Drew McIntyre starts beating down Madcap Moss a little bit and tells, Happy Corbin to tag himself in. And then Corbin gets off the ring apron, starts walking away. Madcap looks confused that Happy Corbin just left him. And then he gets up, he gets hit with a Glasgow kiss from Drew. And then Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore onto him, pinning him for the 3 count. So yeah, Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin tonight in a 2-on-1 handicap match. That's what happened. And then after the match ended, Happy Corbin comes in there and starts attacking Drew McIntyre from behind. beating him down, runs him into the ring post multiple times, and then hits the end of days onto him, laying him out. So yeah, that's what happened right there. Happy Corbin laying out Drew McIntyre. So yeah, for that match and everything, I'll just give it a half of a star for the match, what happened after the match. So yeah, that's everything that happened there. But then we get a promo from Edge. Edge was backstage, and I like his new character. His new character's pretty good. So he's backstage, and he starts talking while he's sitting at a desk and stuff. He got this like thing where weighs in or whatever. I forget what you call him, but he gets a ring and he puts it on there, and he goes like, AJ Styles, I will be judging you at WrestleMania. It's your Judgment Day. So yeah, that's what Edge said. Pretty good promo from Edge. But yeah, pretty good stuff. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, it was a tag team match. It was the main event. It was the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, Randy Orton and Riddle, RK Bro versus the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos in a tag team match. And then we had the number one contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs coming out to commentary for this match. It was a pretty good match between these two teams. At the very ending of this match, it looked like RK Bro was going to get the win because Riddle done took out one of the Usos, and Randy Orton hit the DDT on the other one off the second rope. And then, of course, he was setting up for the RKO, about to hit the RKO on one of the Usos, but then he gets hit from behind by the Street Profits, causing a disqualification. So yeah, RK Bro defeated the Usos by DQ. And then, of course, the Street Profits beating down Randy Orton. And then the Usos starts beating down Riddle. And the numbers game was catching up. But then we seen Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs come through, chasing off the Usos, beating them down, going backstage and everything. So yeah, Rick Boogs, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Usos went backstage. And all that left was RK Bro and the Street Profits. And then Riddle quickly comes in, hits the RKO onto Angelo Dawkins. And then Montez Ford was already on the top turnbuckle, about to hit the frog splash onto Randy Orton. But then Riddle runs to the turnbuckle. Montez jumps off, lands on his feet. And then Montez then got thrown up in the air by Riddle. And Randy Orton was behind Riddle, hits the RKO onto Montez Ford when he was coming down, laying him out. And then they lift him up again. Riddle threw Montez Ford into Randy Orton, and Randy Orton hit RKO on him. And Angelo Dawkins got thrown by Randy Orton into Riddle, and Riddle hit RKO on him as well. So yeah, RK Bro laid out the Street Profits tonight on Monday Night Raw. That's what happened. Pretty good stuff. Match of the night was probably that tag team match with the Usos and RK Bro. It was a pretty good match, but it sucks that it ended in DQ. But what can you do? I'll give that match I'll just give it 2.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. For the match, lap after the match and stuff. So yeah, 2.5 stars. That's why I'll give that match. But yeah, tonight's Monday Night Raw was alright. There was some pretty good segments like Bianca, Belair, and Becky Lynch's segment was pretty good. Roman Reigns' segment from earlier was pretty good. And Brock Lesnar's segment was alright. Some of the matches was short and stuff, which Austin Theory versus Ricochet. Ricochet became a new Intercontinental Champion a few weeks ago. Now he's already jobbing out. The Viking Raiders getting jobbed out really bad from Omos, but it was great to see Bobby Lashley return tonight. And then the 8 women's tag team match from earlier was pretty good as well. What else? It was a handicap match between Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. It was just a way to keep on continuing that feud for the week. But it was alright. And then Miz versus Rey Mysterio was an okay match as well. So yeah, there was some okay stuff on Monday Night Raw, but not too wild. But it was okay for the last Raw to build up to WrestleMania. It was alright. It was just pretty much a lot of stuff thrown together because it was like you got some Monday Night Raw was a 3-hour show, and they had a bunch of SmackDown stars. So it had all the feuds that's been going on Monday Night Raw. And then you gotta include all the feuds that's pretty much been going on from Friday Night SmackDown as well. So yeah, for a 3-hour show with all that stuff going on, a lot of stuff was pretty much shorted out. Like, the majority of the matches didn't last as long. So yeah, it was just way too much. but it was alright because I think SmackDown, of course, all the time, every time when SmackDown airs before WrestleMania is like it's pretty short. Like they'll have like 2 or 3 matches usually because they got the Hall of Fame stuff going on this Friday as well. So yeah, stuff like that is happening as well. So yeah, I can see why they're moving some of the feuds from SmackDown to Raw for this week and stuff. I can understand it, but yeah, it's just a little bit too much in a little short time frame for 3 hours. So yeah, but yeah, tonight's Monday Night Raw was okay. It was average. I'll give it 7 stars. That's what I'll give it. But yeah, that has been my WWE Monday Night Raw March 28th, 2022 reviews. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, World of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bales. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll be down there in the description box. And yeah, I'll be doing my AEW Dynamite reviews this Wednesday night, and I'll be doing my WrestleMania 38 predictions this Thursday. So yeah, look out for that. SmackDown and Rampage and the Hall of Fame reviews will happen this Friday, and then of course WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday will be happening as well. So yeah, I'll be doing all that stuff. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then.